I use these over this any day of the week, so these are little jet lighters. This is the old one I've used for years, and this is one I just bought recently because this one's having a couple of little bit of trouble here and there, but it's still kicking on. Still does the trick, but this is just a backup just in case. I always like to have some sort of insurance policy, just in case I get caught up with a lot of stuff and I can't run to the shop, grab a lighter. But I use these over a traditional lighter because, so I use these. So, I use these over this any day of the week. So, because of the reason that when you use one of these, the fire is a lot more, so the flame is a lot more prone to movement. So as you bend it up, obviously hot air rises, it's going to follow which way is directly up. So, the reason why I use these is if you bend either way, the flame still stays in the exact position that you want the flame to go, instead of always bending towards the easiest point, which is straight up. But I use these little lighters just because when I'm tying off my rubber for my constrictor knot, I've cut it, I've fluffed up the end, and it's getting ready to burn. It's just I can burn it with precision and not burn the rubber. So it's all about a bit of precision, taking that bit of extra time to make it look pretty schmick. They're the lighters I use for rubber making. So getting towards the end. Okay. Righto, so I've got my little small box of goodies here. This is a Rob Allen closed muzzle, muzzle pretty much, from Rob Allen. Obviously, I got this for the gun that is now chopped up. So, spare part there for a gun if I need it, if one of the muzzles comes off these guns. I've got small bits of medium strength bungee in here. These are some bungee that I've made up. This was the first sort of prototype that I was making up. The only downfall of these bungees is they don't have any string in them, so if the bungee fails, your shaft is gone. So that's why they're still sitting here. They were the first sort of prototype of me trying to use it. This is some more medium duty rubber and some smaller offcuts here. I'll just free my hands for a second. Some small offcuts. There's some small offcuts of USA latex rubber. I believe this one here is Rob Allen rubber. So I believe that's Rob Allen and USA latex for these two. These are great to have around to cut them up into smaller pieces, put them on the end of your gun so you're not stabbing everything as you're moving your. Here you go, here's another little example of what I'm talking about. So that's what I'm talking about, the little rubber offcuts. I use these when I feel like I can save a bit of rubber. The perished end where the constrictor knot was, as you might be able to see there where the constrictor knot was, and you see the two sides are perished. Just as an easy muzzle protector, you get your gun here, just drop that over the top, just give it a little wriggle as you're putting it on. I always have my finger just sort of at the end and I slowly wriggle it on so I can feel the end of the shaft touching my finger. Then I know it's good enough. Muzzle's nice and safe. I'm not getting stabbed there from the shaft. That was still tuned properly. Right. Whoop, do that. So these are all my little shark clips that I've collected from traps washing ashore and long lines and whatever by the pro fishermen for these great bits of kit. If you see some washed up, make sure you do your take 3 and also take these. They're great if you find them washed up and they're free. One man's trash is another man's treasure, as they say. Last little things in the box, or in the bucket, sorry, is last little thing, stainless steel snap clip that is extremely rusty. It claims it's stainless steel, but it's also got a slide lock, so you push a little plastic tab just there, you push that down, it locks the carabiner from opening. Like, push it down, try to push it open, not going to happen. Slide open, my friend. Release! Great bits of stuff to have hanging around. So, moving along the little bits and pieces box, I'm almost to the end of it, but little snorkel keeps. These are the original hard plastic ones that you get with most of your snorkels, but I found that a little bit of plastic here where your snorkel is, driving into your temple really, really sucks. So 100% I choose, you would have seen it in the second episode, there's a little, sort of like two little circles and a bit of rubber going between them, a little bit of silicone, sorry. I find it very comfortable, it doesn't press against your temple, great for, I reckon they're just top quality bits of kit. So, right, here you go, here's an old bridle that I've pulled off a gun. Probably never going to use this again, but gives you it gives me a great sort of length of what I need to be looking at if I'm going to make my own bridles up. But 100%, this is what they look like when you can make them up out of 2 bits of constrictor cord and a bit of dynamo in the center. Now, the very last thing I have in here, other than bits and pieces of bridles, so the last actual full bridle I have in here to show you guys is this. This is a European style Bochet stainless steel bridle. These little balls at the end here, they twist off like so. They're threaded, so you can get the European rubbers that actually screw into your muzzle, and you can screw this style of bridle into the bottom of those rubbers. I had this bridle originally for the blue gun that's chopped up, and also for testing purposes to see if when you're loading the gun is loud. It was made a bit of a click, but not much different to a normal bridle. After that I changed to have a look at the stainless steel wire bridles, which is what I'm running on there. I found them pretty good, and I'm just testing them longevity versus the original dynamo bridles that you get with your guns. But anyway, good bits of kit. They've only got this rule, they're not like a normal rope. That's what I don't really like about them, if I'm gonna be picky. As the bridle comes in and it loads onto the little notch or the shark fin or whatever, I don't know, I just look at it and I just think that rubber's going to come flying off here. So I'm going to put that on another gun and test it again. I may be proven wrong, but that is my stance on those bridles. Righto, one thing you would have seen me muck around with too is when you buy a mask, keep the box, because they're great to store little bits and pieces in, like you saw just before there. And the last thing I have to show you, I'm going to pick out this mask, the big barley mask. The last thing I have in my repairs is when someone comes to me saying that my mask is fogged up all the time, I can't get a clear view, whatever. I use this stuff called C-Buff. It is, I cannot rate this stuff highly. Sorry, I can't rate this high enough on the 1 to awesome scale. 1 being horrible, 5 being awesome, I don't know. But anyway, great stuff, highly recommend it. It's better than, because when I started out, had the same problem. What it is a small white sort of, there you go, it's a small white liquid, and it's gritty, like it's got tiny, really fine grains of sand in it, and that stuff is like awesome for cleaning the silicone off your glass when you buy it. Buying a new mask, or you can see on the inside there, it's got a bit of residue from the last time I used this, and I'm still trying to get those photos out because it was pretty cool. But last time I used this, grab this stuff, you put a couple of different drops in there. Now I'll show you quickly, just because I do need to clean this mask out, so you may as well, informational purposes. There you go, 3 drops on the inside. Got to keep it up because it's very runny. I usually do this with a glove, so the oils off your finger do not contaminate the glass. Right, very, very poor attempt at drawing something. Oh, there you go. Try to put it against a darker colour so you can probably see it, but that's my very poor attempt saying, make sure you don't forget to subscribe to me. But what you quickly do with that is once you've got it all rubbed in like that, you wash it off under the tap. So as you can see, but there you go, as you can see, mask is there, and what you do is you just turn the old tap on cold. As you've got the water running in it, I kind of let it, with this mask you can get away with it, but you let the water sort of pool up in there. If you're doing it in a bucket of water, it's fine too, but make sure you just want to rub all that sea buff out of there. As you can see, almost done. There's still a bit of residue over here. There you go. So once you get all the residue out, good as new, let it dry off, and we'll dry it off. I just personally let it drip dry. If with this mask, I'll let it drip dry like that. So I'll get a microfiber cloth and rub the inside of it so it doesn't get all little bits of cloth everywhere when you're looking at it. So before, we're all washed off, all the sea buff is washed out. Sitting glass down so it dries, it just drip dries like that, and then if you get a couple little dried water spots, just get into your shirt or something, just rub all the little bits of dried water out. So the second method, I'm using this mask for the second method, is once you first buy a mask, is the first thing I do. Take your normal ordinary lighter, this one you use the normal lighter for, you don't use a jet lighter. Once you ignite the flame, you want to rub it in circles around the glass like so. Don't concentrate the heat, and you'll see a little black mark. It'll go clear and then it'll go black, and you'll see it spread. That's the silicone. If I find a photo or a video, I'll put it in here. lining sits on the inside of the lenses here and the outside, of course. And what you're doing is you're burning off that silicon there. So what that silicon does is that can trap grease and dirt in there, and that can actually in turn make it fog up and make it go all funny. And then you rub it down with a rag. You'll see a little bit there on the end of my finger. It'll just be like a black sort of soot, nearly. So that's the second method of if someone comes to me and says my mask is blurry and I don't know what to do, I've tried toothpaste and all that. I either recommend them to that, or I can go, here you go, I'll chuck it here and I'll fix it for you. So the first thing I do is I burn it, make sure there's no silicone on it, and then I get the sea buff out and hit it with sea buff. So yeah, that's just about everything in my last little bits and pieces. So that's pretty much everything I have to do with repairs around my local area. When I do the repairs, I go over to the workbench that is pretty much behind the camera there, and it all happens there. So on the workbench I've just got a vise and just basic hand tools under that, which is what I use a lot of the time. It's just easier. Everything is just easy because it's over there. I'm not doing it freestanding here. And when I melt my lead up outside, there's another little metal bench with a vise on it that I go grab, that I steal from my dad. So lucky I still live at home. The perks of living at home. But anyway, make sure you guys check out the other two videos that were before this, so the other two episodes, and make sure you give them a like and subscribe, and make sure you hit the bell so you don't miss any content, because I'm still injured now. I'm pretty much all healed up. I just need to get the joys of falling off the rocks. You put your back out very easy, so I'm pretty much all healed up, and I just need to get once my back snapped into place, we're back on these and we're back diving. So then we're back into fun mode. So make sure you guys like and subscribe, don't miss that, because I think I've got a couple of little secret things coming that I've got. They've been in the works for a while now and they're just about ready to go. As you probably can't see it, but out of view is one of the little things, and also this black bucket with heaps of purple question marks all over it. That's another thing I'm working on at the moment. So they should be coming out. I should be filming them hopefully real soon. Just need to get all the boys together, make sure there's a bit of banter happening, and then we can pull out a couple little bits and pieces I'm working on. And yeah, hopefully you guys like it, and I'll see you guys in the next one.